Hi, and welcome to It's All About the Arts. I'm Stephanie Wilson, and I'm very excited. This is my first time co-hosting this particular show with Sherri Birkheimer Rooker from the Chaffee Art Center. But guess what? It's not our first time that we have been together. So Sherri, I am so excited to be doing this show with you today. Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yes, I thought that it would be really fun for us to work together again.
Thelma and Louise are back together again.
I know, because when I was explaining to someone that we met here when you were interning here many years ago. When she was a baby, by the way.
We won't say how many years ago, but it was a while.
I know, maybe 20?
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just thinking, it's a long time ago. So we've known each other for a while.
Yes, we have, and it's been a lot of fun. And over the years, we've hosted shows about art in the park.
Yes.
And any other little collaborations that Sherri always has ideas.
Well,
that's why you are where you are. Yes, you always have ideas. You're always thinking and dreaming up new things. So that's why it's so appropriate that you're associated with the Chaffee Art Center, because they have great creative people and a wonderful, inspiring environment.
It is. It's a beautiful building, and we have, the artists and the artisans and the community and everybody who's involved. It's kind of like a Chaffee family, kind of. It's really nice.
Absolutely, absolutely. As a matter of fact, I know that sometimes if people haven't been there in a while, you can kind of forget that you have such a jewel in your community.
It's true, and some people have never been. Oh, I've seen that when I drive by. It's a beautiful building. But, I don't know if they're intimidated about coming in, but it's really, we've set it up in a way, too, where you could come in if you have, an hour and you want to look around or you want to read a book. We have places where you can do that. So we just want people to enjoy it the way we enjoy it.
Yes.
I mean,
I've even heard, is it open? Right?
Right.
And it is open.
It is open.
As a matter of fact, it's open even more than it was open before, right? Should we let folks know when they can come on in and visit?
That'd be great. So it's open Wednesday through Friday from noon to 5, though I am there before that. And it's open on Saturdays from 11 to 3. We do classes, so we are there at other times in the evenings and things like that. So, but if you want to plan, just say noon to 5 Wednesday through Friday, and midday Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know this myself because my daughter has been coming to some of your Saturday classes that you have for children, and she loves it.
Yes, she's adorable, Catherine, and she loves to come in, and she loves to
She loves to see Sherri.
And what does she call it? Her beautiful castle,
Her
right?
beautiful castle. Yes, the beautiful castle.
Yes.
And Sherri has an adorable little dog, Luigi, who's there, and so of course she wants to come see the castle and Sherri and Luigi, and then all that art and crafts and fun is just a bonus.
Right. Exactly, exactly. I know she even had her birthday party there.
She absolutely did, and oh my goodness, you were so welcoming and accommodating there, and we had just such a beautiful space, and it was fun because we brought in families, I think, who hadn't been there
before,
and they, it was just the wow when they walked through the door, right? It's such a grand place, and yet also welcoming and very warm.
I agree with you, because some people say, oh, it's a museum. Well, it is a historical building, and there is a lot of really cool history that we can tell you when you come in. You got to watch the doorknobs, there's a cat door, you got to find all these things. But like you said, like with Catherine's birthday, it was great because you had the magician come, and then we have a room that we used for meditation, and we use it for yoga. And it also is part of where we exhibit, but
big high ceilings and
fireplace
sunlight coming through the windows.
It's one of the turrets, so that it's the window is, there's big windows, and they all sit on the floor. It's just a great space. And then we have a classroom where we do our classes for adults and children.
And all those 5-year-olds just running through. And I could see the parents thinking, oh my gosh, they're going to break something or whatever. But it just doesn't feel like that kind of place. You know, the kids were just, they came alive in there.
The other day when we had the student exhibit, we have an annual student exhibit that they've been doing for a really long time. And we're so fortunate because there's I think 21 schools involved, plus homeschoolers. And when we have an opening, we try to do something special where people can come in, and then there's light refreshments and things like that. So we had a chocolate fountain this time, which was a huge hit, of course. Who doesn't want a chocolate fountain? But somebody said as we were setting up, do you think we should have wipes or this or that? I'm like, oh my goodness, it's just chocolate, right? So what?
I would have been the one saying, do you think we should have wipes?
It's like, so what? And, you know, and the kids were great. With that opening, and the show is up until June 7th, the student exhibit, so people, you know, can come and enjoy it. But we also did a wall of hands, so everyone could draw their hand and put their name on it and hang it on a wall. And it just looks so cool.
I wanted to come in so bad. Catherine got a spring cold, so she had to kind of miss out on the fun,
well, when she comes in this weekend or whatever, she can do her hand and put it up there.
Yes, you always have so many fun things going on, and this is for all ages too, right? Your offerings are not just for little kids. No. My daughter is small, but I see that one thing you have coming up is called an Open Studio Hub, and this is for school-age children and teens, and you know, we're always lamenting that we don't have places for our kids and teens to go.
Yeah, so it's basically around 13 to, you know, young people who, you know, maybe are college age. So, you know, but I mean, we're flexible. But I'm just saying that's what we have received a grant from the Wyndham Foundation, so we're able to do this Open Studio Hub. And what we wanted to do is have a place where teens and young people can come and do their homework. Somebody came in and said, oh, we can just sit here and play chess, you know, on the big table, and there's a conference room table in one of the rooms that's, you know, a great place, like a chess club or an art club or a music club. You can just come in and sit and have and listen to music. I mean, you can do art classes, and it's not going to cost you anything. Most times there's no fee at all. If it was, which I don't have any example right now, but if it was something that maybe you might have to do materials, if it was something really, but I can't think of an example, so.
It's mostly free.
It's mostly free. But you could do yoga classes. Wow. You know, we do sip and dips where I'm there, so they don't have to worry about the sip and the dip part, because really I always have refreshments there, but people can, you know, bring their wine or whatever, the adults. And then we have a figure drawing class, and you know, they would just need permission, but if they're into drawing and art, it's an important part of your training or, you know, your experience, so that you can create, you know, your artwork or your art. And this show is called It's All About the Arts, because at the Chaffee, you know, we love our fine artists, you know, but it's about all of the arts. So for instance, the kids' classes, every weekend, every Saturday at 11, there's a different theme. So the first one we call It's All About the Arts, because it can be anything. Music, theater. Then the second one is painting, because they can actually paint on canvas. Then they have a craft one. It's called Let's Get Crafty. And we have a teacher from Mount Holly, a friend of mine, she does that. And then the fourth one is cooking.
Yeah.
So it's all different things, and that's what we want to incorporate for adults as well.
Catherine brought home some treats that the last time you made, and she was very attached to her little plate of treats, but she wanted to share them after dessert with the family. And then so we would say, "Can we have this one?" No, not that one. That one's very special to me. You know, I put this certain amount of colors and amounts of jelly beans. Well, can we have that one? No, not. I don't think that one. She finally was like eking out these tiny little pieces that were okay for the rest of us to have. But she was very proud of her creations and very proud of her cookbook that she came home with. And just, you always surprise us with what you come up with. She did finger painting another time.
Right. And that's a good example is the cooking. So we don't just do something with cooking. We try to do something with books. You know, making a recipe book. One time we did a wordless picture book. And for adults, you know, we have ukulele lessons. It's every other Thursday at 5. Like I said, we have yoga, we have meditation, we have the art with the sip and dips, and we're working on our summer schedule. We're going to be adding more classes. They're not ready to roll, so I don't want to necessarily but I do know that we're going to do a Mindful Heart, HE capital ART series, and journaling for the Mindful Heart, and it'll be all different types of things, because I think it's really important, to look into that and be able to, because some people say, journaling, I don't know. How do you start?
Yeah.
And, crystals, making crystal jewelry, which I've done a few times. I should have worn mine. I wasn't even thinking. And
show it to us next time.
Yeah. They're fun to do. I've done 3. And I just learned it there in a class. And essential oils.
You've done some paintings. I mean, you're really getting into this too. You're probably learning a lot.
I am, and it's really fun. Some people, when they come, adults especially, kids kind of go with it, but they might, I'm not really good at this, and I'm thinking, why? You look at it and you're like, we've done abstract painting before, which is, maybe that would be something. Maybe you're not going to do, Anne McFarren's,
Right.
very beautiful but more scenic landscaping.
Right.
Speaking of Anne McFarren, she's the next exhibit that we have.
Oh wow, I love her.
Yes, she's celebrating 50 years as an artist of painting. Can you imagine?
Wow.
She is a special lady, and we're so happy that she's going to be featured. There's still going to be juried artist members. Work upstairs. She's going to have the whole downstairs of the Chaffee and up the staircase.
Wow.
She loves up the staircase, so she's going to have that. And her opening is June 21st. And it'll be really fun, so everybody should plan this, because the Rutland Garden Club, I think we have 6 people so far, are going to create an arrangement to go with a specific painting.
Oh, beautiful.
Isn't that going to be really neat?
Yeah, I love
like
that.
how their interpretation.
That's such a talented group.
It is a talented group, and they're such wonderful people.
Yes.
They really are. They did
To give up their time that way, and it's a lot of hard work.
during the holidays. They did our fireplaces, because there's 4 fireplaces in the mansion,
Yes.
and they decorated them, and each one was so different and just so beautiful.
Stunning.
Like, it's all art. There's another form of, right?
Absolutely.
Because all of us have art within us, don't you think?
I know. I often think of myself as, I'm not an artistic person. I'm not an artist, and yet I love singing. I play music.
And look at what your husband and you have a business where you do. I mean, that's an art.
Yes, and yet, I always think of it like,
Teaching's an art.
I can't draw, I can't,
Yeah.
things like that. And I think a lot of people think of themselves that way, that if you don't, I can't draw, or I can't sculpt, I can't paint, you think, I'm not an artist. But there's so many different ways to be expressive and creative.
Exactly right. You're exactly right. Like this, recently we had our first, there'll be more. We had our first, like a spring cleanup day at the Chaffee, because, it's a big building. And the outside of it, too.
It's a lot to take care of.
It's a lot, it's a lot. And we had wonderful people come and volunteer, and we're always looking for volunteers. We love having them. But they, did windows, so it's like sparkly now, but they also did the woodwork, but they did outside. There's another art, right? Gardening.
Absolutely. Yeah, landscaping, gardening.
Yeah, so there's, like we're saying, there's a lot of art forms, and the Chaffee, really wants to embrace all of that. And, like we call ourselves the Chaffee Art Center, your center for creativity.
Yeah. I feel Chaffee has always been this, but the last few years, it just feels like you're making so many attempts to be accessible to the whole community, to let people know this is your art center.
Exactly.
This is not just for people who can hang beautiful paintings on a wall. There's all kinds of ways of being artistic and expressive, and come on in and experience it for yourself. One day I was in there with you, and you said, we're dancing tonight.
Yes.
Come on and dance with us. And I couldn't come and dance that night, but I thought, well, that sounds like fun. There's They're dancing. Weren't you swing dancing or something?
We have this great couple that comes in and they teach swing dancing. We'll be
People
doing that
probably
again.
wouldn't think about that though, would they?
And we'll have it again in the fall. And they do swing dancing, at different places around town, which is great. But the Chaffee's just different. I was at the Chaffee recently, and it was a Saturday, and I am supposed to leave at 3, but of course I don't. And it was like 4, and the doorbell goes off, because when you come in the Chaffee, the doorbell's so that we know you're here. And I'm thinking, oh boy, I'm tired, I want to go. Well, the guests that came in were actually the grandchildren of Charlotte Chaffee, who grew up in the building. So George built the building, and his children, Charlotte's one of them, their grandchildren came in.
Aww.
So when and what Micah, one of the male, Micah, the grandson, he was like, wow, he'd never been there. They'd never been there.
No way.
No way.
Where are they from?
Rhode Island and Boston.
Okay.
And he said, wow, this place is meant for dancing. And so he and his wife started dancing.
Aww.
That's why the story came. Sorry, but it was very fun. And so I took them around and gave them a tour and told them what I knew of the history. And they confirmed a few things, which if you come in, I'll tell you. Some quirky things, some interesting things. But they also hadn't heard some of the things that
how special to get to,
it was so
share
special.
that with them.
And then they're like, Micah, the grandson, says, because we had a Native American exhibit that we just finished, which was so fabulous. All the people that helped with that, Lake Champlain Maritime Museum, the Abenaki Artists Association, I'm trying to think to say it right, but just so many people. I don't want to miss them because I'm not going to name too many. But Susie Chaffee, which I think most people know, Susie Chapstick, Susie Chaffee, she's the great-granddaughter. So I reached out to her because she's an advocate for Native Americans where she lives. I think it's New Mexico, in that area. And so Micah said, I'll have to email Susie and tell her that you did this. And I'm thinking, it's just so weird when he says, because, they're cousins.
Yeah.
So it was very neat. It's very neat.
Yeah, but it's such a special history for our area, too.
It really is.
We should
It really
preserve
is.
that and take care of that, and that's what you all are doing
Exactly,
at the Chaffee.
because George Thrall Chaffee, who built the building, was very influential in Rutland developing. He built the Paramount, which was the Rutland Playhouse. He was, involved, if not the person for built the first hospital where the hospital was. So he did a lot of really wonderful things. He was in the legislature. I mean, he did a lot of things. So it's really, and that there's probably so many people that we should be celebrating, right, in Rutland and surrounding. But for us, we're really lucky because we have this mansion and we're able to celebrate, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And I think as citizens of the area, it's important to us too to want to support that, and ways that people can support is through attending classes, coming to exhibits, but you also have memberships.
We do.
Folks can be members and families can be members.
Exactly. We have single. Family is 2 people, and it's very reasonable. But it does, as you just said, and thank you, is that it it does help because we're a non-endowed art center, so we're a nonprofit, and there's only so many ways that it can sustain itself. So we keep trying to be creative and inventive, and that's my goal, is to make us sustainable. And we have a lot of things to do.
Yes.
We have the walkway, we have the porch, And I know a lot of people think, oh boy, is that ever going to get done? But we do want to, we do want to do it, obviously, because we, like I said, we love the grounds and the building. And
yes, and even just walking in that building in the middle of winter. My daughter's birthday party was in the winter, and I'm thinking, my goodness, I complain about heating my house and the bills, just to keep the lights on and heat the place and plowing and all of that. And then I think, look at this beautiful building, and there's so much to take care of, and it's an old building too, and old buildings need special care and special consideration. So all of those things, you're not even just keeping the lights on and taking care of this place, you also are offering so much to the community in way of programs that are affordable and accessible and often free. It's free just to walking through the door.
Right.
I don't know if people even realize that you can just walk in and look around and check it out.
I mean, we love it when people come in and they give a donation, but it's free.
Please do.
Like you're not obligated or anything. But yes, exactly. We just want people to come in and experience whatever the art is that's there.
Yes. Yeah.
And
so
the building.
If people want it to be open to the public and to everyone and so accessible the way it is, for folks who can give a little more and can contribute and with a membership, that's
exactly. And then you also will get some things back as being a member. So we can give you the details if you come into the Chaffee or call the Chaffee or whatever, but so you'll get something back too.
Yes.
And you're helping at the same time.
Absolutely.
Just looking at my list thinking, okay, did I miss anything? But Art in the Park.
It feels like it's a ways away, but tell us about this beautiful
Okay, so
painting
Percy is a Peruvian artist who was, it was before I was at the Chaffee in my hiatus of 15 years doing Art in the Park, and then I was gone for 7, and now I'm been back for a year. So you could probably recognize his style because he did murals downtown.
Yes. And
he worked with Castleton and the Carving Studio and Castleton University and the Carving Studio. And so anyway, he did this, and this is the gazebo in the park where we have Art in the Park. And I just want to put that out there because I know it's in August. It's August 10th and 11th and October 12th and 13th. But people, we're getting exhibitors in now. Right. So you can be thinking about whether you want to apply, and if you've never done it before, there's some incentives, and it's a juried process, and it's just it's really a lot of fun, and there's a lot of people. You get between 6,000 and 8,000 people. It depends on the weather. And because it's Columbus weekend, so it's August, so it's busy times for us, which is really nice.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and you get a lot of people who come back year after year, but you also get people who are passing through the area because it's a touristy time for Vermont, so people are coming through.
Call the Chaffee when they don't live around here, but they want to know when Art in the Park is, so they can make sure they're planning, because they like to plan every year to come around that time.
Oh,
so it's really nice.
Yeah, really nice. That's always so much fun too, because it just feels like a festival. There's music and food, and you see people that you haven't seen in a while, or maybe you see them every year at Art in the Park, and so much art and crafts and jewelry and just so many things to explore.
I know, and I know you always talk about it because when you and Stephen, and now with Catherine, when you guys come, you like you say, you always find something.
Oh yes, we have many things in our home that I look and I think, I got that Art in the Park. And
got your house, I think we were talking about that many years ago.
That's how I would over the years fill my walls, with artwork, and it's affordable too, and it's not like you're paying thousands of dollars for pieces. This is very approachable, accessible, affordable art, and also just handcrafted items.
And you get to talk to the artist.
Yes.
And, whatever they're, whatever type of art they're. Yes, it's really cool.
Yeah, and it can be art in all kinds of ways. People who make soaps and jewelry and
candles and fudge and.
I almost put on some earrings today that I got from Art in the Park.
Oh really?
And then I thought, how they always say before you go out the door, take off one accessory. I was like putting on too many too many things.
Too many glitzy things.
They were a little bright, so I said maybe next time.
So I said, we were talking birthday parties because we were talking about Catherine's birthday party that you had at the Chaffee, but I just wanted people to also know that, we do have space for. We just did a bridal shower.
It's a perfect place for a bridal shower.
Yeah, somebody local's daughter, and it was so awesome. I probably could tell. It's Mary Cohen from the Rutland Chamber. Anyway, it was her daughter, and it was they, like, her sisters came in, and they same thing. They were so appreciative that they could just do what they wanted.
Yes.
And it went really well, and it was beautiful, and they're such nice people, and we've had people come in for retirement parties, and we have a huge conference table in a conference room that's set away. We have Shelburne Farms coming. They're
Nice.
doing a preschool educational day for like training day. So they wanted a space, and so they're going to use probably pretty much the top half of the Chaffee for theirs, because it's really it's like I said, it's set up like that. It has a sink, it has a classroom, it has a conference room, it has 2 other rooms. And we can do weddings. Just so people are more comfortable, like, this, but that I have planned a lot of events.
Yes.
Over the years.
Yes, absolutely.
So I'm really used to planning, and I love it. That's part of what I love to do. So just so people understand that we can take care of everything, or just take care of a piece, or just rent one room, or just rent the building, or whatever they.
Yeah, because I remember I didn't know much about it, but I just thought I needed a space, and you showed me the classroom, and then of course I'm like, oh, but we could do this over here and this over here.
Why don't we have a cake in the middle room, and then we can do the magician in the other room, and then the kids can just start in this room and do a craft.
And it was a movable feast. I was just moving people from room to room, and then so I was like, well, I'll rent a couple of rooms, or 3 rooms, and still at the end of the day it was affordable, and it was flexible, and it worked perfectly, and it's like I could have the mess of the cake and all of the setup stuff in one room where nobody had to see it, and then the kids could draw and color and do something in another space, and then we could do the magician where everything had such nice flow, and I didn't have to worry about a thing once it got started. It just was like a perfect place to be.
So if people are thinking about having a place, well, consider the Chaffee too.
Yes, yeah. I don't think I had ever thought about it for a birthday party in the past, and then it just sort of came to me. And I pointed it out to my daughter, and she said, that place looks like a castle. And she said, I want to go in there.
She came in.
And she came in, boy, and
like a little whirlwind.
Made friends with everybody in the building.
She did.
And she definitely wanted to have her party there, and still talks about it months later.
And if people are concerned, oh, I want to have a dinner party, and you can have that at the Chaffee, and we can do, you can have alcohol in the Chaffee, is what I'm trying to say. There's ways you do it. I have my server's certificate, and there's just different things you can do. So if people say, oh, we can't have that function there because of that, well, you can. So
wow.
Yeah. So it's available for all kinds of things.
There aren't many limitations.
No.
Really, yeah. And I can't express enough just what a comfortable place it is. It's a nice place to be.
Thank you. I love it.
And I thought we had all kinds of time, and now we're running out of time. This always happens with us. But there's just so much to talk about with the Chaffee.
There is.
So folks should come on the website or give a phone call and just see everything that's coming up.
Yes, we do have a website, but the website we're doing a whole new website, which hopefully will be done for our annual meeting, which is the middle of June. I want to say it's June 19th, but I'm hoping I'm right because it's a Wednesday. Anyway, it's the middle of June. So we're going to have a new one. But and you can always call the Chaffee. You can info@chaffeeartcenter.org. I check the email all the time. You can email in.
Great. So we have to come back and
yes,
talk about some more things,
Yes,
right?
for sure.
There's always something coming up.
Yes.
Well, this was fun.
It was very fun.
It was very fun, and thank you for letting me talk all about the arts. Okay. And thanks for joining us.